This podcast is brought to you by New Life Ministries.
Welcome to the Every Man's Battle podcast. I'm your host, JJ West. On this podcast, you will hear honest conversation and encouragement for living a life of sexual integrity. Let's get to today's episode. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the Every Man's Battle podcast. We are closing out season 2 of the podcast. We're excited about all that God has done throughout the season, and we're looking forward to season 3. My name is JJ West. I get to serve as the host of the podcast, as well as the presenter at the Every Man's Battle Intensive. And I am a licensed marriage and family therapist in the Central Florida area. And hey, Doug.
Hey, JJ. It's a bittersweet today, right? Just a little sad, a little excitement, a little all mixed in together. But it's been really fun, and can't wait to see what's coming in the future. So it's always great to be here. I love doing this. A little bit about me: I'm a licensed professional counselor in Dallas, Texas, and I've been working with the Every Man's Battle Intensive since 2001, but I've been facilitating groups at the intensive since 2006. So as I say every time, it's my privilege. I didn't ask for this. It's just been something that has been directed my way, and I love every minute of it. I mean, I don't stop talking about it. So I'm excited about today.
It really is a privilege. We're so glad. And by the way, for the final time of season 2, happy podcast day.
Happy podcast day. That's right. I meant to get there. So anyway.
Yeah, it really is. It really is good to be here. It really is good to wrap up the season. Hey, listen, want to remind all the listeners that you get a discount just for being a listener. You get a discount on your registration fee for the Every Man's Battle Intensive. So if you've never been or you want to go back, when you sign up, all you have to do is put in the coupon code EMBPOD, EMBPOD, and you get $100 off your registration fee. Take advantage of that. I mean, that's just easy money. So take advantage of that. Make sure that you let them know that you're listening to the podcast as well. Today, we want to talk about what advice would we give our younger selves? Kind of our, if you could go back to pre-recovery JJ, pre-recovery Doug, what advice would you give? I think about the scene from the Shawshank Redemption when Morgan Freeman's character is sitting before the parole board one more time. And, they ask the question, do you feel like you've been rehabilitated? And he starts to go into the normal thing. And then he goes, I don't even know what that word means. He says, there's not a day that goes by that I don't wish that I could go back and talk to that scared, angry little kid and tell him he could do something different with his life, right? He could choose a different option, different outcome. And so it got me thinking about, what would I do? What would I say to my younger self if I could go back and talk to that 6-year-old kid, that 8-year-old kid, that 12-year-old kid? What would I say? And how would I want that? Why do I think that would make a difference? So I'll start that question with you, Doug. If you could go back and talk to young Doug, pre-recovery Doug, what would you say? What advice would you give?
I've been thinking about this, and depending on, because we make so many decisions in our life, right? And so going back as far back as I could, if I could talk to that little 5-year-old first, the first thing I would say is don't stay silent.
Yes.
Don't stay silent. Don't isolate yourself. Tell someone what just happened. Even though it's scary, and everybody in my family was big. I was real small, and so everybody in my family was big. And so these big people, with these big voices, but to say something, don't just stuff it and allow it to just seethe and grow inside of me, because some of that definitely, as I got older, fueled my getting into peer groups that I had no business being in, I had you were talking about at your story. I'm not going to share it all, but you talk about the cheerleader thing, and there, I've been thinking about some of these decisions to be in groups of peers and guys, and I would go back and I would stop him before he really got too involved and going, hey, hold on, is this the kind of life that you really want to lead? Because this is where it's going. We're known by the company we keep. And so the company that I was keeping was not healthy, but I didn't know it because all I wanted to do was belong. And each one of those groups, I didn't feel like I belonged in. So I just kept pushing. Well, now I want to belong to this one. Now I want to belong to this one. And I kept doing more and more and more, let's just say, unhealthy, dishonorable things. And that led to my drug history and sexually acting out and really trying to cope with my loneliness and my betrayal of friendships through substances. And sex happened to be a big part of that. And then that took over, and that became the big monster in my life. And so some of the other substances took a back seat. And now that, since it's the greatest thing on the planet, I thought, right, I would say, look, you're messing with something that you don't know how to stop. It will not stop you. You don't have. I was talking to a client yesterday that said, you're in your Ferrari at 120 miles down the highway and you don't know that the brake lines are cut. You cannot stop this.
You cannot stop this. And you think you are in control. You think you can control it, but you can't.
Every minute of the day, I can stop, I can move, I can change, and I just kept going. And the lives that I've ruined, the stories that I should not have been a part of in other people, I should have kept those to myself. And I would be having these conversations along the way, going, "Hey, this girl is not good for you. This group is not good for you. This entity, these are not good for you. This is not where you want to be." But I didn't know where I wanted to be because I felt lost most of my life. And so that fueled a lot of those decisions to get involved because, even negative attention is attention.
Right. Yeah. I mean, that starting phrase of don't keep it a secret, don't keep it inside. I mean, first of all, it resonated. Secondly, it made me think of the, we're only as sick as our secrets, right? Oh my gosh, absolutely. I mean, that's what I walked around there. I was the golden boy on the outside, right? Got good grades, respectful, community service, blah, 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 blah. All my friends' parents and any girls that I actually convinced to date me, all the parents loved me. Right. Okay. So golden boy on the outside, but destructive on the inside. Right. And that's what I kept secret, and keeping it a secret just kept it growing and growing and growing. That destructiveness. It was the 120 miles an hour Ferrari on the highway with the brake lines cut. Like it just got to the point where it took over. And if I could go back and say, you don't have to keep this a secret. You can share this with someone, and it won't, not only will it not be the worst thing possible to ever happen to you, it's actually going to be the best thing possible. Oh my gosh, it would have changed so much of my story. Right. So going back and not keeping it a secret, and you are not alone. You're not the only one. I mean, I so believed I was the only person who lived this way. I was the only person who struggled the way that I struggled. I was the only person who had the evil thoughts that I had. I was the only person on the planet who behaved the way I behaved. Right. And to be able to go back, if I could go back and say, oh, JJ, it's just not true. You're not alone in this. And because you're not alone, there's actually reason to hope that you could live differently, that you could be different. Right.
5 years ago, I had been in porn addiction, and I'd had a sexual relationship out of marriage.
Every day, men struggle with sexual integrity, impure thoughts, strip clubs, affairs, pornography. For over 20 years, New Life Ministries has been helping men regain their integrity through their one-of-a-kind Every Man's Battle Intensive, and it's coming to a city near you. To find out more, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE or go to newlife.com. 1-800-NEWLIFE.
So did you ever say, what's wrong with me? Because I said that a lot. Did you ever say that about yourself? What's wrong with me? Why do I keep doing, why do I keep repeating this? It keeps happening. And I tell myself I won't do it. And then it just keeps happening. What's wrong?
Yeah. Oh, and not only that. So yes, in that capacity of what's wrong with me that I can't stop this, but also from the perspective of what's wrong with me that I don't fit in. So you talked about trying to fit in with this group and this group and this group and this group. I didn't try to fit in with all the groups. I just looked at them from afar and went, gosh, I wish I could be a part of that group. I wish I could be accepted. I wish I could be, but I was just always on the outside going, there must be something wrong with me because I never get invited to be a part of those groups, right?
I defined my identity by the group I was in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yet inside of me, I was the imposter, right? I didn't fit in. There was no business. I mean, looking back, there was no business for me to be even remotely interested. But looking back, I would say, why was I not happy with the folks I really connected with? Because I had no idea what connection was. I mean, for me,
right.
That wasn't a subject, right? And so I had no idea what to connect to until I found all these things. I mean, I was seen as a leader. I was seen as this thing that I wasn't yet. It happened for so long. I'm thinking, okay, maybe I am that thing. And then I would find out at some point in time in the future, I really wasn't that thing.
Yeah. You brought up another point for me when you talked about, we didn't understand intimacy. So we use sexual acting out to try and meet that need for intimacy. And I think if I could go back, one of the main points I would try to make, one of the main pieces of advice I would try and give is, I would say, JJ, you're focused on behavior. And you think if you can just eliminate this behavior, that'll fix it. And that's the most, that God is most concerned with your behavior. And that's not true. That he's most concerned with your heart, JJ. Yeah. Right. Yeah. And so I was constantly so focused on, okay, did I look at porn? Did I masturbate? Did I engage in voyeurism? Did I did I do any of the bad things that I wasn't supposed to do? Did I fail to do any of the good things that I was supposed to do? I had my checklists, and more often than not, I failed on those checklists, and then I felt bad. But it was all about behavior, and I really, I wouldn't have put words to it probably, but I really did believe that if I could get this checklist done right, God will be pleased with me. And I'll know that I'm okay. Then I'll know that I'm a good person, that I'm valuable, that I'm worth something. And I didn't even know how to look at my heart because I didn't know that was important. It never, though no one had ever come alongside me and said, hey, let's talk about what's going on in your heart. Let's talk about why these things are drawing you in. What's happening for you? Let's talk about the loneliness you feel, the rejection you feel, let's talk about all these different things. Oh, that's a whole different way of looking at this, right? Like I wish I could go back and offer that to my younger self.
Right. And one last thing I'll say about that, because that really resonated with me too. That really resonated with me is somehow to get my younger self just simply to listen. Right? To listen.
Yeah. Slow down.
Yeah. Right. Just to listen and not not be so quick to want to feel something different, not to feel better or worse or happy or ecstatic or whatever, just to listen. Hey, I mean, you brought it up just then about connection and community and intimacy. No, that wasn't a part of my upbringing. And so listening to my older self, I'm just thinking, if I'm listening to my older self, would I really, I mean, talking to my little kid, I would say, just please listen. Just listen. Because a lot of times I didn't. And again, just me, but a lot of times I didn't listen. I did whatever I wanted. And that was bad. That was bad for me.
Yeah. Yeah. It's so funny because I thought about the fact that, would it even matter if I could go back and talk to my younger self?
Right.
Would I listen? Right. Because I would want to, I would want to say, there's going to come a day, JJ, when sex is not the most important thing in the world to you. But at 16, I would have been like, there's no way. That's never going to be the case. Right. Because I wouldn't listen. But, oh man, that would be so helpful. Right. Just to pause and listen and to be able to gain wisdom that way, right? To gain that wisdom. Yeah.
For sure.
Oh, my goodness. Well, Doug.
We could go on. I know
we could go on for a long, long time. And maybe, who knows, maybe season 3 we'll try and tackle this idea a little bit further. But we do need to kind of wrap up season 2, and it has been so good. I mean, I've really thoroughly enjoyed the places that we've gone. I mean, I'll just highlight a few, right? We talked about the factors that lead to repentance. We talked about full disclosure. We talked about the differences between men and women when it comes to sex. We talked about neurobiology and brain chemistry. We talked about the impact of sexual abuse. Like, we've covered, and that's just a sampling, right? We've covered
short list, right?
A ton of different topics this season. And I think it's been helpful. I hope it's been helpful. And the truth is, we don't know for sure. Like, we've heard things here and there from different audience members at the workshops, from Sustained Victory groups, small groups, that sort of thing. But we really want more feedback. We want to know of those topics that we covered in season 2, what topics made the most impact on you? What were the topics that you felt like, this was really helpful, and why? What did you change? What was there something you changed about yourself? Was there something that you tried to do in response to something that you heard? Like, we want to know what was helpful and why it was helpful. We also want to know if maybe there were topics that were confusing to you, you had questions about. Let us know. Send us an email, embpodcast@newlife.com. Send us an email to let us know what questions you have, or if there's a topic that you wish we had expounded on, dug deeper, like you want more information. We want to know that. There may be topics that we didn't cover that you're saying, man, I really wish you'd cover this topic. I want to learn more about this. We want to know that as well, because we're getting ready to gear up for season 3. We're gonna spend the summer working through the topic list, the content, hopefully making some changes in terms of production so that things are better. But we want season 3 to be even better than season 2, and we need your help as the audience. We need your help. We need that feedback to better serve you, because otherwise it's just what Doug and I come up with, and hey, what are you going to do? So we hope that you'll respond. We hope that you'll give us that feedback, that you'll share with us what's been helpful. You'll share with us those questions. You'll share with us ideas for other topics to consider. We want to know more of what's going on. And listen, we've already got stuff in the hopper for season 3. We've already got some ideas. This is not an exhaustive list. It's not even nothing's locked in. Okay. But we're already thinking about topics like spiritual dimensions of sexual brokenness, a theology of beauty and awe. I would love to do a theological discussion around that idea. I would love to look at the influence of culture and media on sexual addiction, maybe exploring the 12 steps, maybe doing an episode or two on healthy sexuality. Like we've got some stuff, and we want to have more guests on as well, right? We had a bunch of guests on this season, which we want to thank. We want to take some time to thank. We had several guests. We had Laura Manchin McDonald. We had Mark Cameron. We had Sam Fraser, Rick LaPierre, Bob Good, Dr. Jim Phyllis. Like these guys came and shared wonderful things with us. So we want to thank them for their participation, but we want to have more guests on next season. Maybe we'll have some repeat guests from season 2 and season 1, but we want to do that. We also, I think it's important that we take some time to thank some of the people behind the scenes. Lisa Voyen, who is our executive producer, man, she keeps us organized. She takes care of all of those tasks and details behind the scenes. Listen, this would not be anywhere close to what it is if Lisa was not producing this for us. So Lisa, thank you for your guidance, for your care for us. Yeah. Terry McIntosh is our audio engineer, makes us sound decent. And listen, his hands are full because we don't have the best equipment in the world. And he works magic with that. So Terry, thank you for all you do. Jack Dewey is our media engineer. I don't know how he's able to take what we offer and edit it in a way that is presentable, but he does week in and week out. Jack and Terry get these episodes ready to stream. And again, I don't know how to do any of that. So without them, this show doesn't happen, right? So we want to say thanks to them. We also need to say thanks to New Life Ministries and those who donate to New Life Ministries, because your donations allow us to cover the cost of producing these episodes. So we want to thank you guys for doing that. And then I think finally, and maybe most important, is we want to thank you, the audience. Thank you for listening. Thank you for joining us on this journey. Thank you for providing the feedback that you do. It's so needed. And Doug, thank you. Thank you for being such a great co-host. Thank you for all your wisdom, your joy. It's been a joy to work with you.
Well, thanks, JJ. I appreciate that. Nice words. And to you for allowing this. I mean, this is, when we first got started, this wasn't even an idea. And so right. This is evolved into something really kind of beautiful. And I'm hoping it's helpful to folks really looking to go deeper with info and connection and relationship about integrity and living a healthier life and redeeming marriages and relationships. So thank you. This has been great.
Yeah. Excellent. So season 3 will drop in January of 2026. We'll start our recordings in the fall. We're looking forward to all that God has in store for the next season and for the journey beyond. Once again, guys, thank you for listening. Thank you for walking with us. Thank you for your feedback. Until season 3, let's continue to walk in integrity.
Thanks for listening. This podcast is just one of the many ways we can encourage and help you. If you're looking for more help, visit us at newlife.com or call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Please remember to review, like, and share the podcast as it helps others find us. If you have a comment about this podcast, we'd love to hear from you. Drop us a line at embpodcast@newlife.com. See you next week.